Okay, I want serious answers only. Which Call of Duty game was the best Call of Duty? Black Ops 1. Everyone fucking loves Black Ops 1. Nah, Modern Warfare 2 and 3 were absolute bangers that people still love to this day. Well, I think Black Ops 3 lasted long for quite a lot of people. What the fuck did you just say? Well, you know, Black Ops 3 had people playing it for about 3 years, and I think people really enjoyed it. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know if I heard you correctly. Did you just say Black Ops 3 was good? Well, yeah, it had a lot of DLC, the zombie maps were good, and there was a lot of content. Black Ops 3 was futuristic, and we said serious answers only. Yeah, I know, but it still had a really good multiplayer though, and some memorable guns and maps. Future CODs suck dick, no matter what. Only boots on the ground gameplay make a good COD. Look, listen mate, it doesn't matter about that. All that matters is a good game is a good game, even if it is futuristic. I fucking love Black Ops 3, and I know for a fact there are loads of people that do as well, but I swear, it seems that there end up being more and more cunts who think it was a bad COD just because it was futuristic. To me, Black Ops 3 was the future game that COD needed. See, Advanced Warfare was a bit much. The movement and the feel of that game was just unnecessary. You know, the fact that you could just double jump to the fucking moon was just unneeded. And Infinite Warfare was just going too far. Space does not suit COD. There's space warfare and there's futuristic warfare. They're completely different. And space warfare does not suit fucking COD. Yeah, but I think if Infinite Warfare wasn't called a Call of Duty game, it probably would have banged. But it's obvious that it's not just the movement about a COD game that makes it shit, because IW has the same movement as Black Ops 3. It's just about the general gameplay, the maps, weapon balancing, and overall content that the game has. And mate, there was a lot, and it's honestly hard to get bored of Black Ops 3. Okay, but before the praising, everyone in their right mind agrees that the campaign was pure dog shit. I actually have no clue what the story was, but obviously the difference in the time eras meant that it had pretty much no place in the Black Ops universe. It meant no iconic characters or no iconic link to the actual story of the first two Black Ops games. And I've heard that apparently the story of the campaign actually takes place in just simulations, that none of the missions even happen. I don't actually know for sure, but all I know is I don't give a single fuck about the campaign. But even then, there was still a way to have fun on it, because it's the only campaign on COD that was co-op. If you have 4 friends, then honestly, try playing it on realistic, because it's fucking retarded. They also had Nightmares mode, which was basically the same missions and campaign, just in a different order. I have no clue what the story was, but instead of like just people, there are also zombies to fight. And with that, it's actually not impossible to enjoy it. And before you try and wish me out AIDS because I said the campaign is enjoyable, because no matter what, there's always going to be some twat that constantly goes on about how the campaign is shit. Like, it is shit, but that doesn't mean it's incredibly boring when you get on with the boys. Honestly, if you've never tried realistic and you're just in the mood of wanting to hurt yourself, then just try it. You'll probably hate it. Moving on to the multiplayer now, first thing I need to say is that this is going to be my fucking opinion. Black Ops 3, to me, I just have some of the best memories playing it, because it would pretty much be the thing that we played every single day. And I have definitely never sweated a COD game the same way I have with Black Ops 3. Like, even when every bastard was playing Fortnite, Black Ops 3 was still the main game that I would play every day. The multiplayer of this game might be one of the best. And if you think, what? That's not possible. There's double jumping and wall running. Just think, how often do you actually have to have a gunfight where you and the other person are both in the air or on walls, or one's wall running and the other seems like they're just Jesus Christ floating on the fucking spot? No, the movement in this game made it so that there are a lot of gunfights still on the ground, to be honest. And if some person was jumping, it's not like it's impossible to win that gunfight when you're still on the ground. Yes, you do get the sweats that have scuffed controllers and seem to just never have their feet touch the floor, but those are just sweats for you in this game. Just think, in every COD to ever exist, no one likes sweaty, try-harding faggots that just hold on to their virginity to make extra sure that they never lose it. Modern Warfare has the exact same kinds of players, and everyone loves and hates Modern Warfare. But at least Black Ops 3 didn't have skill-based matchmaking, and the lobbies didn't break up automatically after every game. The game's setting on multiplayer doesn't go too far into the future as the campaign makes it seem. All it really is just Reaper is a character that's a robot, and then there's the double jumping. The movement 100% what makes this game good though. It speeds up the gameplay of it, and at the same time, a shit player can still still only do boots on the ground and do well. I like playing aggressive, and a fast-paced game is something that I like. It's a COD that defo leans towards more the aggressive players, and considering Modern Warfare's biggest problem was the pandemic of camping twats, I don't think this was a problem to too many people. This game is also just really different, which is why I say this is the future game that COD needed. It wasn't the same, and it definitely did innovate, which is something that developers fail to do nowadays, and this game was more or less well balanced. Every gun was usable. Obviously, there were your standard cunty tryhard weapons like the VMP, the M8, KN-44, and some other supply drop weapons. The maps that came into the game were really well designed, which is huge because it seems like new maps on CODs nowadays just suck absolute dick. I also like that the developers clearly cared about the game. There were loads of updates, patches. The game usually felt fresh and well balanced. I mean, the game has 6 fucking DLCs, and it's the only COD that have that many. Like, if that's not the developers giving a shit, then I don't know what is. And unfortunately, supply drops were a thing in this game. The worst part about them was they were supposed to only be cosmetic items, but that just ended up being a fucking lie. They added weapons just like the other cards, and the ones they did add were fucking disgusting. And then there were the ones that were there just to piss you off by making it harder to get any of the good weapons. Like, no, I don't want the L4 Siege. It's a piece of fucking shit and a waste of code. Give me the fucking China Lake. The creator class in this game was pretty much perfect. Not too simple to the point where it feels there's no variety, but not as complicated as Modern Warfare where you're sitting there hours trying to figure out what to put on your fucking gun. And even then, there is still enough variety from the creator class to keep the game from getting boring, especially since most of the guns are usable, except for shit like the Gorgon.
Hello there.
Piss off. I think one of the best features in Black Ops 3 was the specialist. Never before was there anything like this in a COD game. It was a bunch of unique characters with their own weapon and ability that could help you get a free couple of kills. I love the specialists in Black Ops 3. I mean, some of them were annoying as fuck, like Hive and War Machine, but at least they were actually balanced, unlike Black Ops 4, where you had shit like the mini tank on legs. And they were all simple enough to use, my favorite being the Ripper. Like, that shit was so OP and fun. And all the customization for the characters were just amazing. The outfits looked pretty cool. Even if they didn't look right for Call of Duty, especially hero armor, like that shit just looked orgasmic, even though I can't be asked to get it. And also the taunts you could get from when you come top of the leaderboard, and other gestures and shit you could do, except for the dabbing. That shit was just gay. And they added only one new specialist, but it doesn't really count as new because it was Blackjack, the guy from the black market, and what he did is he could just steal your specialist weapon or have a random specialist ability. I kind of wish that Blackjack was an actual new specialist though, but at the same time, with the amount of retarded shit that was in Black Ops 4, I'm glad it was what it was. The multiplayer, although aids at times, probably has some of the best gameplay. You could always easily go on a streak with full momentum until you die, and all the streaks were OP and rewarding as well. And unless the other team are a bunch of cumnuts that do nothing but get shat on, then shoot down your streaks. It was things like that that made Black Ops 3 so easy to have fun on it. It never felt incredibly sweaty unless you were in Chaos Mosh Pit on your own against a bunch of 6-mans, or Prestige Master with dark matter weapons spawn trapping you on Nuketown. Now, I said this game was pretty well balanced and every gun was somewhat usable. There have obviously been so many guns that needed to be nerfed and others that were just constantly overused. The Vespa at the start of the game would only fuck. VMP and M8 are the sweaty go-to weapons that most people will use in SMD. The KN-44 just seems to 3-shot at any distance and has never been nerfed. The Man of War is just taking the piss half the time with a lucky headshot. And of course, if you used the Brecci, then you meant you were on a mission to just piss people off. This game has fucked me off many times. There was even a time where I literally could not play the multiplayer, and it was all because of the cunting supply drops. I could ignore all supply drop weapons, though, as although most of them were disgusting, most standard sweaty guns in the game, like the KN or the VMP, could still easily outgun them. There was only one that stood out, and that's the XMC pre-patched. So before Tryout realized that this thing was just the definition of AIDS, this thing could 3-shot across the entire universe with no recoil at all, which is a big problem because it's a fucking SMG. There's no balance to this, and there was literally nothing you could do to counter the XMC. When it came out, it was unstoppable. And I swear, I was the only motherfucker that seemed to just not have it. They gave away a triple play when this gun was released, and for some reason, every jammy cunt was getting it. But I couldn't play a game where someone in the lobby wasn't using an XMC. And I eventually got it, but you know, that was after it got nerfed, so there wasn't any point of being happy about having it. But at the end of the day, it still fucks. Like, it still fucks. See, the supply drop weapons in this game were just annoying as fuck. Either they'd be OP and you get destroyed by them, but not have them to use, so you're just at a disadvantage, or they were complete piles of ass that have no purpose being a DLC weapon. They may well just made them for free. Supply drops, no matter what, can always just fuck off. But that, to me, is the only thing that made Black Ops 3 bad. Gameplay, weapons, balance, content, map designs, and how fun the game is to play. It is near enough perfect. And look, I could probably go on for hours about zombies in this game. The mode definitely peaked in Black Ops 3 with the story, the gameplay, and just everything about it. I don't want to go into too much detail on each because I want to complain about them at some point in the future. Shadows of Evil at first was considered a bad map, and yes, the pack-a-punch process on that map is stupid long, but it's just another setup process that has to be mastered, just like on every other zombies map. Just think, in Origins, the entire setup process for that map is doing all the 6 generators, getting all the staffs, and if you want to go above and beyond, getting the punch. That takes fucking ages, and that's essentially what would be considered as fully set up on Origins. Well, it's the same with Shadows of Evil. Getting the pack-a-punch, getting your sword, and the Apothecary Servant is considered fully set up on that map. And yes, once again, that takes ages. It doesn't matter what the process is to get a certain something, to get a certain part or weapon. It's about what it takes to get set up overall on the map. And once people had mastered that on Shadows, they realized that it was probably a top 10 zombies map and was definitely one of the best. Like, it was genuinely a really good zombies map for hardcore players. The main problem with Shadows is that it's a launch map. So noobs are the main people who would play it, and noobs will always be retarded. Obviously, the Giant was just a perfect bonus map, a remake of Deriz, so the gameplay on it was pretty much flawless, except for the fact you can't have a minefield of bouncing betties, because obviously shit mines are in the game. The Rising Drac was a masterpiece, and everyone always sees it as one of the best zombie maps of all time. It was essentially a smaller and simplified version of Origins, and it worked perfectly. The Easter egg was amazing. You had to bring back Dempsey 1.0 to Earth, fight a giant keeper, blow up the moon. And this is the map where having a boss battle as the Easter egg ending became pretty much the standard thing, which is a fucking great thing. It makes it feel like there's more of a goal and story and quest for the map, and then it makes the ending feel that much more rewarding. Rise of Drac was perfect and lasted ages, and then when it came time for DLC 2, someone at Tryout just let this thing fall out their ass. Okay, but Zetsubo is actually a good map once you get set up. It's just a shame that on this map, taking setup takes fucking forever. On other maps, you can master it and get it done really quickly. On Zetsubo, you'd probably be on by round 20 by the time you are fully set up. On no zombie map should you have to go through this much aids just to get the power turned on. But like, setting up overall on Zetsubo was just taking the piss with the amount of shit that you needed. Getting the KT4 isn't hard, but upgrading it makes me want to slice my own nutsack, which is why I just never do it. And the map to this day is glitchy as fuck, to the point where it never lets me shoot down the plane for the Easter egg. I remember once we were in a game trying to do the Easter egg until about 1 in the fucking morning. We went to the boss fight and got a big fuck you of a blue screen, so we basically just played for about 3 hours for no good reason. The Easter egg is literally setting up on this map because the actual steps are just collecting 3 cogs and then the boss fight. But I need to say that the spider boss is amazing. No ridiculous process to go into it. You just get the KT4, but once again, the glitches on this map at launch were disgusting. In the spider boss on solo, you can only take one other weapon with it unless you want to trade out the KT4 and then try and get it back from the box later on. Once I was doing the spider boss, I ran out of ammo, but it's okay because you get a max ammo from the spiders. Or so that's what I thought. Yeah, see, the game glitched and it didn't actually give me a max ammo, so I couldn't get any ammo, so I just sit there with my hand on my knob waiting to fucking die. Like, and I can't be asked to talk about the glitches on this map because there were just too fucking many. Gora Crovey was a banger of a map. We got the PPSH, the Reagan Mark III, map not too complicated, and because with all the shit from Zetsubo, everyone was just getting gassed over the fact that the power was nothing but a simple switch. And it's easy to have fun on, and an Easter egg, which was about 50-50. Like, I'm sorry, why can't we just break Sophia open and take the power core instead of having to do a fucking fetch quest for that slag? No, but it doesn't matter because that boss fight was orgasmic. Finally, Revelations. Now yes, this map was disappointing, but later it did make sense for Black Ops 4. But still, the time leading up to it was like waiting for Endgame, where everyone was just so excited, and then Tryout just had to go and crush everyone's dreams. Gobblegums are one of the best features in this game. It's like how Black Ops 4 has mutations, except the Gobblegums don't make the game that easy. They helped make the game overpowered and easy, but it didn't guarantee that you were going to get a high round, which was just a perfect balance. And of course, DLC 5 confirmed Zombie Chronicles. You can't fucking forget that shit. I remember watching that reveal video with JC Backfire and just nutting about 5 times when Jason Blundell just opens the jacket and reveals his t-shirt that says Zombie Chronicles on it. 8 remastered zombie maps, all really good ones, just made Black Ops 3 Zombies pretty much perfect with the amount of content in the game. Black Ops 3 Zombies was just amazing in so many ways. The gameplay ranking up system was perfect. All the maps are hard to get bored of. The Easter eggs were all fun. Boss fights were amazing. And it's not just just the gameplay that was good about this game. The fucking zombies community had peaked. Like, Black Ops 3 was probably one of the best years for just in general for COD. And I hope the same will happen with Black Ops Cold War Zombies, because zombies has been dead for quite a while, since Black Ops 4 like pretty much release. So it's up to Black Ops 5 to either save it or keep it dead forever. And honestly, it looks like it's gonna do that, because I've just seen cover art for the game. It's a picture of Richtofen 1.0, which means Ether's story is coming back. They're fucking off the Chaos story, hopefully for good. Not only that, they made up the image of past loading screens, so you know, fuck knows what that could actually mean. He's also half zombie Richtofen. Are they continuing the story? Are they bringing back the characters, or are they just gonna reboot the whole Ether story with the same characters but like a kind of different storyline? I'd be fine with that, so long as it's Ether story, and so long as the gameplay is pretty much the same as Black Ops 3 and not Black Ops 4, because I tell you, Black Ops 4's gameplay just sucked absolute dick. But Black Ops 3 was just overall an amazing COD, for more reason than it just having good gameplay. COD community was better than ever on YouTube and shit. Developers 100% gave a shit for 3 years on this game, and they got a DLC 5 and 6. I forgot to mention Back in Black. Those maps are bangers. It's just a shame that no one ever has them, so you can never get in games with them. And to me, I just have the best memories on this game, and hopefully that Black Ops Cold War will be just as good. And honestly, I think it could. With how shit Modern Warfare started out and how good that game is now, I think Black Ops Cold War will bang.